What's going on, guys? Rods Over Bricks here. So, the wife and I went to Alaska recently. I thought I was taking a picture. It was a video. And we saw Alaskan things. We did Alaskan things, which was quite nice out here on the water, although a bit cold. And the best thing to top it all off, I found a pretty darn good hoppy drink. We even saw a blue house and a blue window. So that was pretty neat. But after all that traveling and packing the RC cars, it was time to make some nice supper. So to start off with, we got some chuck steak and a whole bunch of butter, potatoes, celery, carrots, onion, beef broth, and some generic steak seasoning. With the steak all cut up, we're just gonna season it really heavily. You can't really oversalt it at this point. We're gonna toss it all around. And what we're gonna do here is just sear up a few chunks at a time, get some nice browning on it, put it aside and do the next batch. Once all the meat's done, we're gonna go ahead and melt some more butter. Throw in our carrots. We're gonna saute our carrots for a few minutes just to get them all nice and golden on the outside. And we're gonna pull those aside as well. So with our meat done and our carrots just about done, it is time to pull those all aside, put some more butter in the pan and saute down some onions. Once that's all done, we're gonna cut up some more onions and have some garlic. We're gonna put that inside a pan and make sure you don't step away from it at this point. We're just gonna toss around our onions and garlic and butter for a couple minutes till they're nice and lightly sauteed. At this point, throw in a couple sticks of celery. And measurements here are not at all supposed to be accurate, just whatever you feel like. We're gonna go ahead and turn up the heat and put in the beef broth. Now with that, we're gonna push all the meat down, make sure everything's kind of staying below the top level. And all this nice juice here from the meat after it's been sitting for a few minutes, we're gonna go ahead and add that back in. And now it's time to do a little bit of playing with the RC cars. So the few that I brought today, I had brought my homemade brass dune buggy, because that's kind of like my little road warrior. It's pretty small and compact. This is the view outside of our hotel. It's very pretty. And there was some nice snow and some other odds and ends to play on. So went ahead and stretched out the legs on the dune buggy and did some very bad crashes to it. But everything's holding in just fine, so I think we'll see this thing to live for another day. But a great little travel-sized car. If you haven't seen this car yet, or if you're new to the channel, this is an SCX-24 that I took apart and used a few donor parts and built a little brass-tubed dune buggy around it. It's using some SCX-24 knuckles, wheels, tires, ESC, and servo. The rest of it's all just kind of home built with some little random bits and bobs of brass tubing. It's got a pretty hot 130 motor in it from a slot car. So this motor is capable of running 4S. Right now it's just running 2S because I'm using the stock ESC from the SCX-24. But it was quite fun to see this car play in new terrain that it hasn't been in before. And after a few minutes of that, it was time to go back and watch our little pot roast go and just give everything a nice little stir, waiting for the beef to kind of cook down, along with the carrots, waiting for them to get nice and soft. The celery's gonna pretty much look the same as it does in the beginning. And once you have a gut feeling that you're about 45 minutes out, you're gonna go ahead and take a whole bunch of golden potatoes, the larger ones I cut into halves, and you just go ahead and add that right on in there. Now the pot roast is gonna seem a little bit watery at this point, but the starch from the potatoes will help thicken this up. And we're just going to stir it every now and then. This is a lot shallower of a pot than I'd like to use, but we're going to go ahead and just make sure the potato stays submerged. And with the pot roast all tended to, we can go back outside and go through another pack on this little RC buggy. And I'm trying to get some good footage of it jumping, but not doing the best. It's a little bit twitchy. Unfortunately, the knob that changes the dual rate on my remote is missing. So the steering's at full blast right now, so it's a little bit twitchy. But that's okay. It still drives really good. And back up in our room, I brought a couple other RC cars. I brought this little tiny one that you guys saw me review about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I did put a Nissan Desert Runner Hot Wheels body on top. I thought that just looked a little bit cooler. And I just used this thing here in the bedroom just so I could stay close to the pot roast because it needs a little bit of love about every 10 or 15 minutes just to give it a good stir. And after some playing around with this thing, we can go ahead and check back up on our pot roast. And you'll see here that the beef itself is fork tender and it should be just about able to shred apart with your fork. No knives are needed for this meal. And the potatoes, the same thing. The larger ones are the ones that I check on first. And if you can stab your fork all the way into them without much resistance, I think they're just about done. The carrots are just barely able to hang onto a fork. And after that sauce has cooled off just a little bit, I cut the heat. You're going to see here it's thickened up a little bit. And now with a full day of traveling, RC cars, and cooking, you're ready to call it a night.